Good morning, everyone. We are here in beautiful downtown Pontiac on a really exciting day. Today is a milestone in the project that we announced a year and a half ago of bringing county employees back to the wonderful city of Pontiac. And before I get into my remarks, there are some people you'll hear from other speakers in a minute, but I also want to acknowledge City Council President Mike McGinnis, Councilman Mikhail Goodman, Councilwoman Melanie Rutherford, who represents this district. She would hurt me if I didn't mention that, in a good way. Deputy Mayor Calfani Stevens, thank you so much for being here. The chair of our Board of Commissioners, and the Board of Commissioners has truly been one of my most valuable partners in this project. And the chair, Dave Woodward, is here, represents Royal Oak and surrounding areas. And then a number of commissioners have come out because we've all been really excited about this day. So I see Brendan Johnson is here, Yolanda Smith-Charles.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4.
1,
2, 3.
I always have to throw that in. Kristen Nelson is here. Thank you, Kristen.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Huh? Oh, you guys have to fight that out. All right. We have Deputy County Executive Sean Carlson, who oversees economic development for me and has been just a champion for this project, is here. I'm expecting State Rep Brenda Carter. I don't know if she's running late. Apparently she is, but she'll be here. And then one other person who I would hope to be here, and then she got a flat tire on the way here. And it might sound odd that I also invited the state senator from Lansing, but State Senator Sarah Anthony, who was the chair of the Appropriates Committee last year and was instrumental working with her colleague Jeremy Moss and Brenda in helping make sure that Pontiac got what it deserved in terms of this project. I also see Pastor Jones here. I want to say hello to you, sir. Thank you for all your help and support as well. So, with that underway, let me just say a few things, and then the others that are here will have a chance to speak. But I've said this before. I mean it more now than ever. I'm bullish on downtown Pontiac and our relationship with our county seat, which is Pontiac. And it starts today with the formal structural demolition of the Phoenix Center, which, if you don't know, it opened to so much promise back in the 70s and had a great run, but never quite lived up to its full potential. But many great memories were made here, and I don't want to discount that. But since 2011, that's the last time there was a concert here. Since 2011, it's unfortunately mostly been just kind of an eyesore. It has fallen into terrible disrepair. Repairing this structure would be incredibly expensive. And while the work of demolition starts today, we expect it to be fully done by the end of December. Don't hold us to that. There are delays and things. But right now the project is on schedule and on time and on budget, so I'm proud to say that. But when it's done and the two buildings are sort of reconnected to this wonderful city, and Saginaw Street, which is the main street of Pontiac, is reopened through this area, because we're not going to build anything else on top of Saginaw Street. We're going to open this up. The two office buildings and all of the employees in those buildings will have easy, walkable access to downtown Pontiac. We'll build another deck off of Saginaw Street, and you'll hear more details about that. But when that comes back, imagine two office buildings full of people that can walk to downtown, shop in the stores, eat in the restaurants, and become a more integrated part of our county seat. Just so you know, thank you. Most of the agreements are in place for this project. The last one will be with the final one is with the developers. We're still working with them now. We're very close. But working with them, the plan, of course, is to rehabilitate and improve for now what we call 31 Judson. We need a better name for that building, but that's the one over here that's going to have 600 employees in it. And then the other building, which is 5111 Woodward, which is 80% currently occupied, and we'll fix that building up, and we're going to fill up that building. And I believe that those buildings, and more importantly, the people in those buildings, can really help be a catalyst for the further redevelopment of downtown. I say the further because there's already great progress going on here, and I don't want to minimize that. And I don't want to act like the county alone is transforming Pontiac. We are just joining the other work that's been done here and is underway. But it was also my hope, and I know the mayor's hope and others, and the board chair's hope, that if we did this, that maybe other developers who were looking at Pontiac but weren't sure if this was the right place to invest and bring more housing and bring more stores and bring more things, would see that as a sign that the future of Pontiac is just as bright as I think it is. And the great news to me is that's exactly what's happening. There are projects in the pipeline, and I'm guessing that the mayor can talk more in detail about that. But since we've made our announcement, there are projects in the pipeline that are going to overshadow what we're doing. And so my message to anybody that has a lot of money and likes to develop things and is wondering where their next project should be, look at Pontiac. Look at Pontiac. This is the place that is going to be transformed in a way that I think a lot of us, most of us, remember from our youth, when Arts Beats and Eats was here, and when festivals and nightlife and shops and restaurants and employees were here. We're on our way back. We're on our way back. And I want to make this point. When I say we, I used to be a mayor, and I still loved my old role. I'm not the mayor of Pontiac. We're the county. And we said from the very beginning, and the mayor made this clear to me from the very beginning, and I just happen to agree with him, that if we're going to do this project, we're going to do it with the total, complete input of the residents and the business owners of Pontiac. This isn't my vision. This isn't my vision. This is going to be the vision of the people of Pontiac. It's their community, and long after I'm done being county executive and the mayor's gone and the board chair is gone, my hope and my prayer is that this will be something that this community can be proud of for a long time to come. And as part of that, when we acquired this parcel of land and all these buildings, we negotiated with the city to give them part of the property here so that they could do what the community wants them to do, and that can be parks. It could be another amphitheater. It could be farmers markets. It could be what the community wants, and that's been a very important part of this project from the very beginning. We're just proud to be a small part of bringing employees back to Pontiac. You know, and when I say back, there used to be a lot of county employees back here in downtown Pontiac back in the 60s and early 70s. But since then, they've all been moved over to our campus, over on Telegraph, and to the point where we don't have any employees in downtown, in our own county seat anymore. And so 600 or so employees here. I want you to know we still have a campus over on Telegraph. We have 5,000 employees, so it's not everybody, but I hope we're leading the way. I hope that other people are going to follow us and come back here to the most impressive city that has been seen disinvestment, but whose brighter days are ahead. And today is the day we start the physical transformation of this project, and I couldn't be more excited to do it. So thank you for coming. I know it's a cold day, but I appreciate you being here, and I assume it's because you know this is the beginning of something really special and really magical. So with that, I want to introduce the county commissioner from this district, someone who's been a partner and friend of mine for many, many years. She's from Pontiac. She's still from Pontiac. She's born and raised here. She'll probably talk a little bit about some concerts that she's seen up on the roof of the Phoenix Center, I'm guessing. But she has been a champion and a proponent of this project from the very beginning, and that is our County Commissioner, Angela Powell.
Hello, everybody. It's real cold. I just want to say thank you, Executive Coulter, and good morning to everyone for joining us today. Morning. Morning. Again, I am Angela Powell, County Commissioner of District 9, which includes majority Pontiac and portions of Bloomfield Township. And what I want to say is, I want to make sure this county understands that this project only moved because the city council here of Pontiac, the mayor here of Pontiac, our deputy mayor too, joined, county commission and our executive all came to have a like-minded idea of a project that we all needed to move forward. And also, for years, I'm gonna say it, for years, Oakland County, prior to Dave Coulter becoming our executive, did not assist the city of Pontiac like they should have. And we were underserved for several years. And I just want to especially thank Dave Coulter and the mayor and our chairman also, because without them taking the lead to galvanize the rest of us to get on board, we would not have this project going forward the way that it's going. And I also want to thank Sean Carlson, Deputy Sean Carlson. Thank you so much for taking the lead on this project, and you've been doing a great job. And Pontiac, Oakland County is not coming in to take over anything. We have been moving as a unit together to make sure that your dreams or aspirations for this project, we focus on that and make sure that that is all delivered once this project is executed. So that's what I want to say. Now, as a historical moment of me being born and raised for this wonderful city, I do remember, and I finally remember, one of the best concerts that was on here was with Frankie, Beverly, and May. Do y'all remember that? It was a beautiful night, okay? And then let me say this. Woodward Dream Cruise, we always had events on top of the Phoenix Center. Was amazing. Brought different acts here all the time. Then we had the local Elam family. The Elam family always hosted events here too. And it was exciting. And I was on the drill team, one of the drill teams here, and I remember performing part of this drill team when I was there. And to close things out, fireworks for the 4th of July. Our city was turned up. We had a great time. And if y'all know what turned up means, that just means we had a good time. Our city had a great time coming together to celebrate that. And I do want to thank the city because they did bring the fireworks back under Mayor Grimal's tenure. And thanks to Kefani because he assisted with that. But those are my fond memories of things that happened here. And I am so excited that now we are starting a new chapter. The Phoenix Center has long been an icon to the city. The building was originally designated as part of Downtown Pontiac's revitalization in the 1980s when I was born. And it is only fitting to end the story marks the beginning of a new chapter of our city's transformation. So I just want to thank you all for coming out to support and see that this is the start of a new chapter, and I'm ready to see what the execution is going to be. So now I'm going to invite up our wonderful mayor, Pontiac Mayor Tim Grimal.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, this is a big deal. And as the county executive alluded to, it is not the only big deal happening in our downtown, but it's arguably the most important big deal. We've got a total of 3 major transformational projects happening in our downtown. In addition to this redevelopment, our tallest building, which you can see right here with the flag flying on top, is the Pontiac State Bank building. It's been vacant for many years. It was under-occupied for decades, and it is currently being renovated into 114 loft apartments that will be opening later this year. So that's a huge deal. And then on the north side of our downtown, just on the other side of M59, we were just approved by the Michigan Strategic Fund for about $80 million in state incentives and support as the first transformational brownfield to get going here in Oakland County. And that will include a groundbreaking next year of a 300-unit new construction apartment building. So Pontiac is on the move, but as I said, this is arguably the most exciting of all of these projects. And I really want to thank County Executive Dave Coulter and Chairman Dave Woodward, as well as all of the Oakland County Commissioners, especially our commissioners, for their incredible support of this initiative. You know, Dave Coulter, to his credit, came to me and said, I want to do something really big and transformational in Pontiac. And I said, well, I've got an idea. And I pitched him on this, and to my surprise, frankly, and to the county executive's great credit, he said, I like that idea. And here we are today actually implementing this idea, and this is truly transformational. I know that word gets thrown around a lot, but this does three major and important things. Number one, it reconnects our Main Street. You're actually sitting on Pontiac's Main Street, Saginaw Street, which 45 years ago was connected throughout the entire length of our downtown. And then people came along and, for reasons I'll never understand, decided it was a good idea to plop a massive parking structure on that Main Street and bifurcate and separate our downtown. So today is the day that we reunify our Main Street throughout the entirety of our downtown. That's number one. And by the way, there will be a new parking structure built so that we have parking downtown, but it will not occupy or split our Main Street. Number two, as you heard, yes, we have a lot of fond memories of the amphitheater up on top of the parking garage. But the second thing that this is going to begin the implementation of is creating a ground level public space so that we can continue to have events, we can continue to have an amphitheater, we can continue to have a town square, but at a more pedestrian human scale at ground level. And then third is that it will bring back hundreds of county employees to work in our downtown, and we have not had that kind of presence in our downtown in 40 or 50 years. So this is a huge, huge deal. I want to thank our partners on the City Council for their partnership in making this happen, and this will be remembered for generations as the day that Pontiac stood up and reclaimed its rightful place as the heart of Oakland County. I want to now introduce a man who was essential and instrumental in making this happen, because this would not have been possible without support from the state. The state provided about $5 or $6 million to the city to pay off a debt that the previous administration saddled the city with in connection with the Phoenix Center. But even more impressively, the state provided $50 million to facilitate this entire project. So without further ado, I want to introduce Senator Jeremy Moss.
You become very popular when you bring $50 million to invest in a community. Good morning, Pontiac. Good morning. And indeed, it is a good morning in Pontiac, and it's very rewarding, especially when you're in the public sector, to start a journey that starts on paper and to see the journey into fruition, into real physical action. And that's why we're here today. But there have been people who have been a part of this journey a lot longer than me, and a lot longer than a lot of us here. Those are the residents of the city of Pontiac who have carried a heavier load than most. As has been mentioned, this city has dealt with many challenges, many of them government driven for many, many years. You can talk about a county that totally neglected its county seat. You can talk about a state that imposed emergency management on the city that actually accelerated challenges rather than remedied challenges. And so when we came into a new majority in the Michigan legislature, and specifically the Michigan Senate, we knew we were going to have to overcome those challenges. And we knew we were going to have to budget with a lens of equity and uplift communities that had not gotten support in a long time, or in many cases, government drove the problems in a community. And so when I came into representing this community, but also serving as President Pro Tem of the Michigan Senate, I began to tell the Pontiac story. And I can't believe I'm the last speaker, but the first one to talk about the phoenix rising from the ashes. And I don't want to belabor the ashes, but this is a moment where this city will rise. And it's because of the residents who have been a part of this journey all along the way and have deserved this attention for a very long time. So not only did I bring with me to that budget this priority to have this reinvigoration here in downtown, and I want to mention it as many times as possible, this was the largest district project in our entire state budget. $50 million to downtown Pontiac.
And that debt was eliminated too.
And exactly right. And on top of that, we were able to deliver another $5 million that the residents were saddled with in debt. We've relieved that. I can go even further. We relieved the school district of $18 million of debt that the residents were carrying. We've also produced another $10 million of investment to the MLK Bridge in this community. Pontiac is the biggest winner in that state budget because Pontiac deserves it, and Oakland County deserves this type of investment in our community. So I'm very excited to be here at this next step of the journey, the real physical movement here, literally. And I want to thank a number of my colleagues, not least of which is, of course, my colleague in the State House, Representative Brenda Carter, who is a partner all along the way, and our budget chair in the State Senate, a very good friend of mine, State Senator Sarah Anthony, who represents Lansing, but also knows that that role that she has is a statewide role. And it's very significant, and I want to mention she is the first black woman to chair an appropriations committee in the Michigan legislature. And that deserves a round of applause in and of itself. But I think that almost in and of itself has made a lot of the difference here. Budgeting with a lens of equity, recognizing that there has been a disinvestment in communities of color all throughout the state. And so to be able to be here as a representative of this community and see this community and bring investment back to this community has made it worth the while. So again, I want to thank the executive, the mayor, the city council, the board and its chair and its county commissioner from this district. We've all worked together hand in hand. This is a different story than the problems that led up to this moment, where government drove the challenges. We are now working hand in hand together at all levels, from the state to the county to the city, to remedy these challenges. And now that we're here, we can write the next chapter and talk about that this is a moment where the city and its residents came together to see a rebirth of the vibrancy in downtown. And I'm very proud to be a part of it. So I'm handing it back to our fearless leader, our executive, Dave Coulter. Thank you very much.
Senator Moss, thank you for the remarks, but also for your leadership in Lansing. This doesn't happen without Lansing, the county, the city, all working together, and this truly was a collaboration. So we're going to do some Q&A, and then we're going to start the demolition process. Now, you know, originally I dreamed that I'd get to do one of those plungers, and it would all just come crashing down. Apparently, this beast is a lot more complicated than that. It's going to take all year to tear this thing down. So we're not going to do that, but we'll get started on this tower over here, apparently. But so before we do that, that's